Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we talk about Dune. I went to see Duna, not Dune, Duna. No, it is funny because I went to see the movie, and when they show the name of the movie, they don't show Dune, they show Duna. I saw it in English with Spanish subtitles, but still, I went to watch Duna. But enough about that. Although I could make some very irreverent, spoiler-free comments about Dune, but I will refrain unless you want to hear irreverent comments about Dune. I don't know that you do. I don't know that you don't. All I know is that today is October 23rd. It's Saturday. It's the weekend, and we have all kinds of news to share today. I hope everybody's doing great. We have news about weather. We have news about vaccines. We're going to learn a new word in Spanish today that I picked up from a headline. And it's a very common word because it happens a lot here. So you might as well learn this particular word. We have news about highways that are closing. We have news about Halloween or lack of thereof. So it's going to be one of those days in which there's a little bit of everything. So we are going to get started, but not before we first do our usual due process of encouraging newcomers to let us know that that if you are new and you let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment, we will give you a nice little welcome. And of course, if you have something truly important that you want to bring up during the broadcast, it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q, capital letter Q, at the beginning of your comment. That way we will know that this is important to you and we will comment or react to or otherwise address the comment. And that's what we have. That's what we do. And here we go. Alrighty then, we are going to start with windy today. Don't put away your umbrella yet. When it comes to the weather, hurricane season is not over until it's over. And now we learn that Category 1 Hurricane Rick is the latest adventure to form in the Pacific coast, and it's heading our way. Is it too late for a hurricane? Not necessarily. We are reminded that today is the 23rd of the month, and Hurricane Kenna tore through Puerto Vallarta's coast, resulting in 4 fatalities on the 22nd back in 2002. Is this going to be an ugly hurricane for us? Well, the good news is that Rick's path, as predicted today, will not affect Puerto Vallarta with much more than maybe a little bit of heavy rain. It will touch land sometime early Monday in the coast of Michoacán, turning into a tropical storm over Jalisco. And hopefully will be done with hurricanes for this year. After this one, keep your fingers crossed. I'm keeping mine uber crossed because I'm done with this weather. I'm ready for something cooler and fresher. We learn more details about the upcoming COVID-19 vaccine campaign for leftovers. This campaign will be for those who did not receive any vaccines when they were previously made available, and also for those who received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine and for whatever reason did not receive the second dose. There are some date specific circumstances about second vaccine candidates that you can read in detail in this article. The campaign will take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. We already knew that. But the new bit of news is that it will only take place at La Lija in Pitillal, not at the Naval Hospital. So if you are hoping to get vaccinated, please know that you will have to go to La Lija. Meanwhile, the very nice, oh so very nice health authorities for the state of Nayarit announced without any anticipation that the leftover vaccines for the municipality of Bahía de Banderas would be available this weekend starting yesterday. Like we finished the broadcast yesterday, and all of a sudden I saw this bit of news saying, well, we're vaccinating today. And I'm like, holy shit, let's let the crowd know. So we posted something in the afternoon. So vaccines for leftovers in Bahía de Banderas started yesterday and will continue through the weekend. There is only one vaccination point in Bucerias, and the vaccines, again, are available today and tomorrow. Of course, if you notice this word on the headline over here, camaropa, what a perfect opportunity to learn about that word because you see it a lot, I see it a lot. Let me put it on the screen so you can get acquainted with this word. Quemarropa literally is the combination of two words. The first one, quema, meaning it burns, and the second, ropa, meaning clothing. It can also be spelled separate, putting a space between quema and ropa. And quemarropa has basically two meanings. The first one would be the English equivalent of point blank, when you shoot somebody up close. The Spanish equivalent of point blank, quemarropa, is a lot more descriptive because we use quemarropa for somebody that gets shot so close that the impact of the bullet actually burns the fabric of the clothes that the person is wearing. Quema ropa. But in this particular case, the meaning that we lean towards is we also use quema ropa when something is done in an improvised way without any kind of anticipation or preparation, which is precisely the way that our wonderful friends from Bahía de Banderas announced this latest vaccination campaign. A quemarropa, which means they didn't plan, they simply plopped the vaccines for us to, get pricked if we need to get pricked. So there's the word that I wanted you to learn today, quemarropa. We have other COVID-related news. These are good news because cases continue to decrease, but not the number of tests. Why is that? Well, there's a couple of factors to keep in mind. There are people that are traveling from one place to another, and we know that traveling requires you to have certification of your tests. And also, there are a number of places, work-related places, that are requiring new employees to get tested as part of their job application process. Although it is worth mentioning that there is no law in Mexico that demands you to take a test in order to be able to apply for a job. But in spite of that, this practice is becoming more widespread. We don't know, this came up a couple of broadcasts ago, we don't know if or when Mexico will modify the laws, either federal wise or state wise or even municipal wise to expect people to or to mandate people to get vaccinated if they want to apply for a job. We hope that this never happens, but I just thought I would mention this so that you would be aware of it. Moving right along, the SEAPAL woes continue both as far as their finances are concerned and how they are handled, and also as far as the actual service. SEAPAL has now announced that a generalized low water pressure situation is going to be present throughout the entire city due to some changes in the path of both the Ameca and Mascota rivers that affect their primary source of clean water. Low water pressure is expected primarily in the northern half of the city, and this particular news item does not specify how long this is going to happen. And the last bit of news that I have before we turn over to the weather is that the 2.8 kilometer stretch along the old highway between La Cruz de Guanacaste and Destiladeras in Bahía de Banderas has been closed for good, benefiting the real estate developers in that region. This happens after a long legal battle between the real estate developers and the Federal Secretary of Transportation, the latter arguing for years that the highway belonged to them, and the courts have decided otherwise. And now the state authorities, the state of Nayarit authorities, have no choice but to let this happen. And for context, let's take a quick look at the map so we can see what this is all about. Once upon a time, the only way to get, say, from Puerto Vallarta to Punta Mita was down this old highway. It's a 2-lane highway that goes right next to the coast in the upper half of the bay. And then came this brand new, fabulous, super fast stretch that makes driving all the way to Punta de Mita a lot faster. And of course, there's all the developments that are being planned for this part of the coast. So at first, it appears that the developers were being evil and trying to close down the highway for their own personal gain, and now this has happened. So this stretch of the highway is now closed for the general public, and I assume we will continue to see much more development happening in this general region. So bottom line is, if you want to get to Punta de Mita, you continue to use the brand new road. Destiladeras Beach is somewhere around here, and it has been a beautiful beach, a gorgeous beach, as a matter of fact. Whether we will be able to continue to enjoy that beach as part of the general public without having to be in one of those developments is a mystery, because these things happen mysteriously, as we know. Sometimes they happen a quemarropa, but we will have more details at some point, I suppose. Let us now turn over to the weather and see what that looks like for the rest of the weekend. Oh, Aristotle invented the pseudoscience of meteorology, says our snarky weather man, whatever I say. It is 27 degrees right now, feels like 32. Humidity is at 100%. Who came up with that notion? I don't know. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 80. Our weather forecast for today is humid and partly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 23. Sunday, it'll be, tomorrow we'll enjoy possible light rain in the evening and overnight. High temperature of 30, low temperature of 23. And we'll start the week with a humid and partly cloudy day, a high temperature of 29. That's lower than before. And a low temperature of 22. So the weather is changing ever so slightly. The humidity has not gotten the memo, but hopefully humidity will get the memo at some point in the near future. Let's see, moving right along. This is the latest in the saga of Halloween versus no Halloween. There will be no Halloween festivities along the Malecón. But that's only the latest. I mean, they could waffle again for another week, but what do you know? Traditionally, there have been those people who enjoy sauntering through the Malecon on Halloween, but not this year. Authorities will also be keeping an eye on bars and nighttime venues to ensure that things do not get out of hand. And as far as the traditional celebration of Day of the Dead on November 1st and 2nd, whether we will have altars in the Malecon, whether we will have Catrinas or not, we are still in the dark. As you know, earlier this week, municipal authorities, particularly the director of municipal tourism, said, yes, 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 we will have them. And then the next day he said, no, 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 we won't. So we don't know. I would not plan on it, which is disappointing for some, I'm sure. But, you know, it's just like the weather. Things could change tomorrow. And last but not least, before we turn over to our chit-chat section, whale watching season will not officially begin until December, and yet we learned that authorities have added new restrictions to the areas within the bay in which vessels are actually allowed to provide the service or activity of whale watching. In the past, sightings were forbidden in the northern edge of the bay between the Ameca River and Punta Mita, but a new restriction has been put in place between the Ameca River and Yelapa. So where is one supposed to go? I'm not entirely sure, but I am sure that more details will be made available once the whale watching season begins sometime in December. And that's what we had for today. And let us take a quick look at your comments and questions just to see what everybody is up to today. We start with lots of good mornings. Thank you very much. Betsy says, Hurricane Rick, really? Well, yes, really. Yes, we will have Hurricane Rick. Well, in fact, we already have Hurricane Rick. It's just that we don't have it here right now. Okay, so, Oh, Dan had a retirement party. Mazel tov. Mazel tov, Dan. I hope you are closer. You are getting closer to your return date to Puerto Vallarta. This is so totally groovy. We get to meet Christy's a 1-year-old grandson. How fabulous. He's looking forward to meeting me. Somehow I'm not so sure about that, but that's good to know, Christy. I look forward to meeting your grandson in November, which is right around the corner. Tony is tired of the heat and humidity. That makes two of us. I mean, last night I was lying in bed and I felt like I was just schwitzing. 2 fans pointing at me. And how are you today? Gigi says, please comment on Dune. I don't know that I want to ruin the movie for you, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what else we have. Actually, my comments about Dune will not ruin the movie. Well, maybe one of them will, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should go watch it first. Doug says, good morning from Plaza Dorada with a question mark. Well, I hope it is a good morning in Plaza Dorada, actually. Claude is late, but I hope you're feeling better, Claude. You are now home convalescing, that I know, and I also know that you won't be able to move for some time. So if you want to be kept company by an old crotchety friend that enjoys doing crochet, let me know and I'll come keep you some company. Let's see what else we have. Any news on Santa Barbara Street? No news on Santa Barbara Street. Okay, then get specific. Flying to Puerto Vallarta on October 31st. My goodness, that is just around the corner. Any official news on the autopista from Jala? No, no official news on the autopista from Jala. Let's see what else we have. La da di da 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 da. What else? I don't see many cues today, but that's okay. That's okay. A day without a lot of questions. Oh, Mushi had a wonderful week in San Sebastián del Oeste and happy to report Jardín Nebuloso was open and delicious. Open and delicious. Okay. We had reservations, so maybe that helped. Thanks for the walking tour. It got us excited for the trip. I don't know if this was your first time, Mushi, but if it was, please let us know. Um, please let us know. Um, Mark says, are there sarcastic phrases in Spanish like in English, for example, as if or really? Yes, there are. Let me, oh, what a juicy, wonderful question. Sarcastic phrases in Spanish. The first one that comes to mind is o sea. But when do you use o sea? You use my God, Mark, I'm not prepared to demonstrate. Let me hold on to that question. It is a beautiful question. And I love challenging questions like that. Let me get back to you, Mark, and I'll do some thorough research on sarcasm. Because you can even say por supuesto, like of course, you can say of course or por supuesto, and it depends on the way you say it. Just as in English, if you say as if or really, you can say it in a legitimate way, but you can also say it in a sarcastic way. Damn, you stumped me, but in a good way. I love that. Let's see. Oh, Paco, your company would be very much appreciated. You are not crotchety either. It will be well enjoyed. Maybe a couple of bottles of wine. Okay. I'm there. Let me plan my week. Let me get in touch with you because I know you're not going to be able to move for a while. Leaf is a new supporter. Thank you, Leaf. Thank you for supporting Coffee and Headlines, arriving in a week. And my husband and I can't wait to finally do your Versailles walks in person. Fantastic. I don't know how much time you will be spending in the city, Leaf, but I hope your time here is wonderful and full of connection and discovery and good food and good vibes and good friends. Let's see. A new earworm, sarcasm. Yes, I hate it. But you know what? I have a video worm that I need to share, but I don't have the link handy. But there is this video, Halloween related, probably spooky, very timely video that I've been watching so many times. And it involves three amazing television personalities from the past and the present. Maybe tomorrow. No, tomorrow is Sunday. No, maybe next week. I'll give you my video worm so that we can make a competition as to who can dance that with me. Oh my God, and Matthew's here. Matthew, I need you to go watch Dune because one of my non-spoiler snarky comments about the movie has to do with the leitmotif of the musical theme of the movie, which resembles closely a dark, sinister, bad acid trip version of the theme of a very popular Mexican telenovela. Yes, I've said it. It means that the theme music in Dune is eerily and weirdly similar to the theme of a very popular Mexican telenovela from the 80s, but only if you're experiencing the theme of said Mexican telenovela while you are enjoying a bad acid trip. It is that complicated. And fortunately, while I was watching the movie, I was listening to Hans Zimmer's music and I was thinking, oh my God, this sounds familiar. Where have I heard this before? And thank goodness I didn't put it together during watching the movie, because if I had put it together during the watching of the movie, I would have been like just cackling in laughter through the whole thing. But the film, oh my God, the film is grand. It is epic. It is spectacular. It's what audiences must have experienced when they sat for a Wagner opera, when Wagner opera was the entertainment of choice, or opera in general for that matter. So there you go. I managed to sneak out one of my two irreverent comments about Dune. The first one having to do with the leitmotif and the similarity to the theme of a Mexican telenovela. If you want to know the Mexican telenovela, I could let you know what it is, but then that would imprint the music in your ear, and that might take away from the pleasure of enjoying the movie. So I'm not going to ruin that experience for you. Scott asks, for years we took a bus from Tepic to acquire Huicholcora meds. Are you aware of a good local source of pomada de peyote, which is legal in Canada but not in the United States? Unfortunately, Scott, I am not aware of such source. If anybody has any information, it would be greatly appreciated. Oh, wow. So Dune last night too here in Calgary at an IMAX theater. And that's something else I must say. The sound quality at Cinepolis VIP here in town was absolutely breathtaking. Oh my God. What a great film to be reminded that enjoying epic films at a movie theater is so much more than just worthwhile. It is absolutely necessary. There you go. Let's see what else we have. I love Hans Zimmer. Got to see his live show in concert in Vegas, and it was an amazing experience. That sounds like fun. And Logan chimes in. Sounds like I tuned in just in time. Dune was awesome, a cinematic opus. And I'm gonna save my other impertinent comment about Dune. Because it's really rude and impertinent. I'm not going to share it. I'm just not going to share it. You don't want to hear about it. And I think there's a question. Any chance of a discussion on Puerto Vallarta's ley lines? I am fascinated. Okay, well, first of all, a discussion is next to impossible because a discussion requires people discussing. And here, discussion is limited, Marie, to me and this microphone and your comments, which kind of not balances things a lot. For those of you that don't know, there are such things as ley lines, and ley lines, I'm not an expert, but they have to do with paths of energy or paths of magnetic something, and apparently they converge in Puerto Vallarta. I am not well versed on this. I have friends that are. So going back to the question, any chance of a discussion on Puerto Vallarta's ley lines? I can find an expert and see if we can get an interview. If more people are interested in ley lines, just write ley lines in your comments, and that'll give me a cue as to whether you want to go there. Kathy doesn't add a cue, but I'm curious. Is demand greater than availability for rentals right now and through the high season? Heard this rumor, but not sure what's true. Any idea? Well, why would we know that, Kathy, if we live here? So if we live here, we don't need to rent. So I have no idea. No idea. And Kathy wants to hear about ley lines. And those are definitely not lines waiting for the cashier at Lay Supermarket. These are ley lines. And Ed shares a link about ley lines. Karen wants to know about ley lines. Okay, I see some ley lines. I will add it to my list of topics to discuss at some point in the future. And that's it. I think we are there. Oh no, I didn't mean to push that button. I meant to push this button. Yes, I saw your link, Ed. I saw your link. I mentioned it, and it is there. We will take a look at it at some point. Yay. Oh, John is like Mota and ley lines. See, that sounds like a combination I would be interested in. We're done. It is Saturday. Another week. Yay. We completed another week. Now it's time to go and enjoy the rest of the day and have a good time and enjoy the rest of the weekend. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I, as always, am grateful for your company, your questions, your idea. I just got a message from my friend Catherine about ley lines. Okay, I'm going to get busy researching the ley lines. Maybe we will learn more about them than we wanted, but that's okay. Have a great weekend. Stay kind, stay happy, stay well-fed, stay curious, stay connected, and stay in touch. And I'll see you Monday.